Chat definitely, maybe even joining a guild is acceptable. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Baz.
Yeah, it's just like once you reach level 15, you've kind of reached the end of what your trial is designed to show you. So you can just say, okay, no more income for you, no more anything. Like you can still be in the world, but you can't really gain much. Like you can experience the content that you've already experienced again at level 15, but you can't gain gold, you can't, trade with anyone, you can't do any of that stuff.
Right,
And I think
right.
that would kind of
And it seems restricting, but it really is just to give you a sample of what the game has to offer.
right. You're
So
supposed to pay money, so pay your money now. Thank you.
That's true. That's
And every
true.
time you sign in, there's a big giant window that comes up that says "Pay me money," and then it just has like a
it's just Phineas with a nice little handout.
Yeah,
Give me money.
give
money,
me
money, please.
Continue playing for money.
Yeah, and then basically at the end of your 15, if you want to turn around and join, you get to keep that character. Some free trials make you start all over, but being able to keep that character and be able to come back is really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nifty went AFK for just a little bit, so the camera's gonna be a little bit messed up, guys. So don't panic. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
It's the end of the world.
Yeah. Okay. So Doc,
We're a professional
since
stream.
you've been playing since day one, what has been your initial impression of the game, and what have you seen so far?
So I was told pull no punches in chat. So here's what my experience was.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I jumped in.
Honestly.
I jumped in closed beta, and I thought the weirdest part was the lack of testing for endgame. Only about 2 weeks worth. That came back to bite us in the butt a little bit as I progressed through the game and got to endgame and realized I want to participate more in attunement and endgame and rating, which I still haven't done yet because I suck. But as I've noticed the game goes on, I never complained about a lot of the stuff that people had issues with the leveling, with the questing. I never saw an issue with it. I've been playing MMOs since, Ultima and EverQuest. So the grind here is not grind at all. The issues with the quest flow, I never really saw. I'm a big lore hound, so I like the fact that if you paid attention to the lore, you're able to flow between sections and go through like the wars and go through the conflicts and seeing this little extra things pop out with, say, the Skeech.
Mm-hmm.
It started to waver a little bit as we got into some difficulties with Drop 2. And my impression now is that I'm cautiously optimistic. Every game's going to have that little downturn where you've finally gotten out of the box, you stumbled a little bit, and now you got to get back on your feet and dust yourself off and try again. And I think after playing around in Drop 4, that's where I'm at with the game. I'm cautiously optimistic. MMOs are a fickle beast. But I have said I do believe that the community that stayed here is strong. The community that decided to leave, I wish they wouldn't have, but I wish them well on what they do. And some of them I don't. You can go burn in hell.
Whoa, buddy. Whoa.
Hey,
calm down.
Whoa.
Calm down.
Hey, you know
You're
what? No,
here.
it's fine. It's
You're
fine.
here.
It's
This
fine.
is the
I
gap
said that
of
this
woe.
is going to be a very honest show, and that's the way I do things. So
I don't have a
don't
lot
worry
of
about it.
pity for them. For the people that decided to burn the bridge on the way out. Like, you know what? If that's how you want to treat the fellow players you play with,
Yeah,
long see ya.
I know what you're saying. There wasn't a tremendous amount of people that did that, but I know who you're referring to, and I got that. Okay, all right. I retract my giant whoa. All right.
Cautiously
just
optimistic.
unexpected.
That's where I'm at.
I keep my woe out there. My woe is there to stay. What does
Yeah.
that sound like?
What
Is
is
a
that?
woe
Like,
trap
seriously, is it a
eating something?
train?
What
The
is
whoa
that?
whistle.
all aboard! Wow, that's just awesome. Okay, so Nifty, what? It's Clover. It's Clover.
Clover.
Clover,
It's a
Clover,
hundred
you making
Clover.
margaritas or something?
For all of us,
Oh, that's,
please.
that's amazing. Okay, so Nifty, welcome back. And
Thank you.
what has been your most frustrating experience with the game so far?
Well, honestly, I would consider myself a casual, I guess. And when the game launched, I think it was very catered to hardcore people like raiders. And so at first it was pretty difficult to find groups to get like the silver attunement for dungeons, especially. That's pretty much where I blocked. And I know that I wanted to raid, but at the time I didn't have the schedule for it yet, so I was kind of, just kind of wait. But then after I found a good guild that would take me and I eventually got it done once they also kind of nerfed the content to bronze, so I got past that wall, and
I wouldn't say it's
since then
nerf though.
Hey,
It's-
watch that. Yeah, I was gonna say watch that.
yeah,
movie.
that's why I kind of quoted nerf, but
I mean, it was
definitely
yeah.
needed.
It
Yeah.
definitely was needed, and I mean, I think it's kind of a pat on the back. There's that train again. A pat on the back to
It's the woe
Carbine
whistle.
for you know, kind of acknowledging that they can't cater the.
What the?
That's probably my son in the background.
Oh.
He's just waking up.
Doc just took
That-
another
Anyways.
swig.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
Oh, it's adorable. That's literally adorable.
Wow, that was amazing. Okay, so what was I saying? I don't remember. Anyway, Beholter,
Yeah.
what has been your most enjoyable aspect of the game so far?
I'm a big raider. I love raiding. I love heading into genetic archives. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
How far are
But
you?
there's so right now we're 2 of 6. We're not super far, but we keep plugging along.
Circle boss, huh? Giving you
Yeah.
trouble. Circle boss giving him
Yeah.
trouble.
It's mostly the roster boss.
Yeah, I feel you there, bud.
Roster boss is tough.
It's all right.
All
Now,
Hey,
now,
what server are you on? Because I have yet to raid.
We are on Entity.
Ooh, good to know.
We're- Yeah.
Wrong side. He's opposite side from you, I think.
Oh, you're
Damn.
a dirty Dominion.
I am a Dominion, so you can go. Oh wait, I'm not allowed to curse. You can go to
You
a
can
very.
go
you can go chewy yourself.
So
Yeah.
RNs are a dirty word. Okay.
Okay, so
Very
now,
word.
now in terms of rating and in terms of like end game stuff, Beholter, do you dang it, Train? Do you find it more challenging than I don't know if you did you raid in World of Warcraft before I asked you this question?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was
So-
I was a huge raider in WoW.
Do you find it more challenging, or do you find it a little bit easier because of the telegraph system?
I don't really think the telegraph system makes it easier. I find that this game has more things that you just have to figure out, and once you figure out, you can repeat pretty easily. So I don't really think that it's that much harder than WoW. It's just learning how to combat the mechanics.
Okay, fair enough. Chat, you guys are just weird. Oh, don't Google that either. Not a
I
good
say
thing to
Google
go-
everything.
Yeah, well, I do just because I want to throw an image up there, but nope, can't throw that in there. That's inappropriate. Oh boy. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
don't
and
worry
I'm
about
really
it.
happy with that. Like, I'm
That
super
guy-
happy not knowing what that means.
Well, you're not reading the Twitch chat, so
I am reading the Twitch chat.
oh,
and
okay,
I don't know what that
okay.
means. I'm
Anyway,
going to stay away from it.
all good. All right, so Kel, in terms of I don't want to say casual because housing is not casual. At least the way you do it, you're insane.
Or
What,
slightly.
what has been the most frustrating aspect of housing, and what are some things that Carbine can do to make your life easier?
In terms of the most frustrating things in housing, there has been a bug that's been present. I actually just put a large bug report thread on it in the forums. It's been kind of present since drop 2, as far as I'm aware, and that's that you can be dragging. I'm going to get detailed with this. You can be dragging an item along the x-axis, and suddenly it starts switching and going down the z-axis.
Oh, that's
Yep,
so annoying.
I've got
Yeah.
that problem too.
It's really annoying.
I started looking into it in a little bit more detail, and I would be sitting there looking at 2 objects on the same axis, and both of them had stats that were completely off from one another to where they should be clear across the map. So
Yeah.
it's been a known bug. It's been a long bug. Been in the game a long time. If they could get that fixed, that would be absolutely amazing. It'd take a lot of time out of trying to rearrange decor on the plot.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, that's really the only thing I can think of that's really, really frustrating, other than the fact that, gosh darn it, I wish I could have a shared crate between my guys because there's too much really awesome soulbound crap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't mind
Seconded
paying
that.
extra
That's
for
true.
access to like a war chest or like a housing chest that you can share for something like that.
Paying extra plat, right? Not extra
Yeah,
real
plat.
money.
In-game
Please
money.
don't. You have to be specific, or else they'll just be like, "Oh, okay, we'll charge you real money. We're down."
Coming soon, free to play.
But ultimately,
Everyone's like, why the fuck did you even? Oh,
we don't have a Nerf
I
gun
will
here.
gladly take another one for that.
Nerf gun.
Yeah, we need a Nerf gun.
But ultimately, housing has had it really, really well. The devs listening mantra really comes through. We got music that players are really requesting for a long time. We've gotten a lot of decor. We get new decor every patch. In the PTR coming up in Drop 4, we have the ground change options, the option to put the hatch down so you don't have the house above to try and build around. We have it really probably better in housing than many other people do in the game. I have to be honest.
Yeah, Moose has the Nerf gun. All right.
Is that the exact same model that they
All right,
use?
nifty.
Both have it. This is weird.
S just got real here.
Indigo.
Is that a bazooka?
Oh man, what's that thing?
Why
No
do
more
you have
cussing.
that?
I'll cut you.
Does that
Two
shoot
questions.
rocks?
One, where do you buy that? And two, why doesn't Carbine have one of those?
Because I want their streamers to live through the
I may have an arsenal of Nerf guns, and there may have been a point in my life where there were Nerf gun wars on a weekly
Oh, I
basis.
I
I
really
say
want
if
them to get the Gatling one, the Gatling gun Nerf gun. I really want to see Tony get
Just
barraged.
you felt it.
I say if you go to Carbine and you happen to leave that bazooka there, but it's a good use.
That might happen.
So 2 weeks from now, Tony's just gonna get flat out knocked out from a Nerf dart.
Hey guys, welcome to Zero to.
No, see, it's okay. Someone else can level his character and do it faster.
Oh.
We still love you, Tony. We still love you.
Oh,
Oy
He's
vey.
trying so hard.
Yeah,
We
that's
still love
it's true. He's trying very hard. Now, in terms of like low-level content and that kind of stuff, we have a lot of really good stuff coming in Drop 4. We have the practice instance. We have the new ship hand that honestly really teaches players that, hey, you can pull and aggro all this stuff and still survive, but you got to be really careful and, time your CCs, get some good aggro going, the heals, that kind of stuff. Avid, in your experience so far at like lower level dungeons and trying to teach new players things, what has been your experience and what has been some of their feedback that you've received?
Well, one of the biggest issues now, as opposed to launch, is that the lower level stuff isn't getting run that much. So aside from a guild that is actively being helpful and running lower level stuff as somebody's leveling to teach some things about doing dungeons in Wildstar, at launch we had we had a bunch of people level up, get to the first dungeon, get in there, run through it, and then say nope and leave the game because they just said this is too crazy, this is not what I want from a game, and they left.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that several times.
Huh.
That's a fine opinion to have, though. But yeah,
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not knocking the people. Don't get me wrong. I never even got close to that mentality. I don't see how people could.
Right.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
I think a lot of it is people coming from WoW, and in WoW you can take dungeons a little more casually, and there's also there's more of a tempo to it, like watching a good movie where you have scenes that are a little slower, maybe a little more expository, and then you have a big action scene, and then you have a quieter scene, and then you have a big action scene. So you have these peaks and valleys. And in Wildstar, it's still there, but the valleys are not that deep. The valleys, you still have to pay a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And, and the same thing is there in raiding in Wildstar. It's part of the reason raiding in Wildstar is more difficult is because you have to be on all the time.
Yeah.
So
And
I
there
have a
is
question
no,
for you guys.
Relax, sit back. Go
if
ahead.
you're going to recommend this game to somebody, how would you recommend? How would you compare the combat to? Obviously, it's not a traditional tag targeting game.
Right.
But what kind of comparisons would you guys give? Because I have a little bit of an issue trying to figure out what would be a good comparison.
I think actually Smite, the MOBA, is
Yeah.
a really
Okay.
good comparison if somebody's experienced that, and they can always dive into that for free and experience that. I think as far as the small scale combat, I think that's a really good comparison. And I think for solo casual play, I think the out in the world combat, the questing combat works just fine because you can take on a group or two, and then you can kind of do it at your own pace. The pacing in between groups is however you want to take it. And the same thing with most of the single player dungeons and that sort of thing.
Right.
And then actually, for that matter, same for the ship hands. I'm really, really excited